Okay, quite a many of you. Put your hands down. How many of you vote for the color thief? Okay. So George catches a cold wins. So shall we start that story? Yes. Yes. Have you ever caught a cold? Yes. You have caught a cold? Very good. Okay. Very nice. Let me see. Why are you holding yourself back now? You have to do whatever you do in the class. Simple. Okay? George catches a cold. Who's George? Which one is George? And who are they? Okay, so it's a story about some little piggies who are behaving as if they are little children. Okay, so out of these three now, who is George? This one? Let's see. But first, this is a storybook. And somebody must have written it, no? And somebody drew these lovely, lovely pictures. Let's go and find out who did that. You. No, I did not for this one. This is not my book. Let's see. Can I find it? Can I find the writer's name, author's name? Where can I find it? See, it's not on this page. Oh my God, they have not given the author's name. Oh, sad. When you do a worksheet or you have a book, do you write your name? Yes. They forgot to give the writer's name and the illustrator's name. Who's the illustrator? What does an illustrator do? Yeah, who drew the book? Do you like these pictures? Yes. Aren't they lovely? Yes. Yes. Now let me see what the writer has written. Mummy Pig has said, Peppa and George can play in the rain. No. But they must wear rain clothes to keep them dry. So who is Peppa and who is George? And George, and who's this? And where has she allowed them to play? But she said, what rain clothes are they wearing? Very good. Do you also wear rain clothes? Yes. Does your mummy allow you to play in the rain? No. Oh, some mummies don't. Your mummy allows you? You know what we'll do? You know what we'll do? One day we'll call all the mummies and we'll make them get wet in the rain. Shall we do that? Yes. Now let's see what the writer has to say. Okay, they are both playing. Oh. But George hates wearing his rain hat. See, what has he done? What has he done? He doesn't wear his rain hat. So he has thrown it in a muddy puddle. See, where is his hat? In the muddy puddle. There was a muddy puddle and George said, I don't want to wear this hat. And he threw it away. But is Peppa wearing her hat? Yes. Oh, Peppa doesn't mind wearing her hat. And what are these words here? Can you see these? This is what George is saying. He says, hee hee. And look what's written here. She says, George. Now. This is like comedy. It's comedy, no? Yes. Yes. Now let's see. Now who's there in the picture? Daddy. Oh, wow. Daddy has also come. Wow. Daddy is nice. Daddy is nice. Let's see now. Let's see what the writer has to say. Come inside, children, calls Daddy Pig. It's raining very hard now. Where's your hat, George? Asks Mummy Pig. Achoo! He fell sick. What did George say? Come on, let's... Who's going to be worried now about George? His eyes are watering, his nose is stuffy, his throat is choked, and he's very sick. Now what does the writer say? Oh dear, George has caught a cold. George cannot stop sneezing. He went on sneezing. Poor little George, says Mummy Pig. You don't look very well. Great. I will call Dr. Brown Bear, says Daddy Pig. Who is he going to call? Dr. Brown Bear. Do you want to see how Dr. Brown Bear looks like? Yes. Do you have a doctor? Yes. Is he a brown bear? No. Okay, now we are waiting. Now. Oh, Peppa is very scared, his sister. Will George go to the hospital? She's very excited. Yeah, so Peppa is asking, will George go to the hospital? Asks Peppa. No, dear. George's papa says, no, dear. George has to go to bed. So, George is not properly ill then, says Peppa, disappointed. He's just having a sneeze. He's not ill. He won't go to the hospital. Maybe she wanted to visit the hospital. Why do you think Peppa feels like that?
Because he's not gone.
Maybe she thought she'd get a trip to the hospital. No? Like we go on a field trip? Oh my God, who's there now? Daddy. And who's there sleeping in the bed?
George.
And what does he have in his hand?
Dinosaur.
Is it a real dinosaur?
No.
Then?
Dinosaur.
Why is he holding it?
Because he loves to play.
Because he's sick, so he wanted his favorite toy, so he's holding it like that and slipping. And what do you think Daddy is telling him? Let's find out, what the writer says. George, you have to stay in bed until you are better, says Daddy Pig. Why? Why? Asks George. Because you have to keep warm. Because he's got a cold, so he has to keep warm. And now let's see, do you think he'll get some medicine?
No.
Injection?
No.
What do you think will happen?
Injection.
Oh, look who's come.
Dr. Brown.
Dr. Brown Bear. Let's see what he has to say. Dr. Brown Bear is here to see George. Open wide and say, ah! Brown Bear, the doctor. What does the doctor tell you as soon as you go to see him? Open your mouth and say, ah! Why do you think the doctor tells you to do that?
Because he can check your mouth.
Because he can check your throat. Because Mr. Cold, Sardi, Mr. Cold, he lives here. So the doctor searches for him. Open your mouth, come on, come on, come on. And that's what Dr. Brown did. Oh, 1 minute. There's something else also that he did. George is a little bit worried. He is hiding under the sheets with Mr. Dinosaur. He's getting scared of the doctor. He doesn't like the doctor. Why do you think so?
Because he's
Yes, or maybe some karma tablets. So maybe he's scared. Let's find out. Oh, look what George is doing now. What is he doing? Now, doctor has not only told him to do she said take out your tongue, come on. What do you think the doctor checks? How clean your mouth is. How much smell is coming from that mouth. So now let's see what the writer has to say. George finally comes out from under his sheets and opens his mouth wide for Dr. Brown to have a look inside. He says. And who's watching him?
Peppa.
Why is Peppa watching him?
Because he's worried.
Yes. Is she looking worried?
Yeah.
Why is she worried?
Because George is not here.
But why is Are we?
Yes.
Oh my God! Look what's going to happen now. Do you want to see?
Yes.
The doctor has a lovely car. Do you want to see it?
Yes.
Okay.
I already got.
Can you guess what color must be his car? And what does he have on top of his car? God, look at this Dr. Brown Bear. He has a car with a green color siren. Let's see what the writer has to say. George has got a cold, says Dr. Brown Bear. He can have some warm milk at bedtime to help him sleep. Thank you, Dr. Brown Bear, says Mummy Bear. She thanked the doctor. Oh, sorry. That means you are very smart children. You know when I make a mistake. Very good. Thumbs up. Very good. You are welcome. Goodbye, says Dr. Brown Bear before driving off in his special white car. Now what's going to happen to George? Next morning, what happens to him? Next morning. See this. Next morning, George wakes up early. The warm milk made him sleep very well. Says George. He is feeling much better now. So where do you think he's going to go if he's feeling better? Let's see. It's a lovely sunny day, but George is wearing his rain hat. It's a sunny day and he's wearing his rain hat. What happened? He doesn't want to catch a cold again. And what do you think he's saying here? See? What do you think it is saying here? He is saying and Mummy says, what do you think his mummy will say if he's wearing a raincoat when it is sunny?
Why are you wearing a raincoat?
Let us see if his mummy says that. Oh George, you don't need to wear your hat when it is warm and sunny. Mummy Pig tells him. Everybody laughs. Why are they laughing?
Because George doesn't want the cold.
Yeah, because George is wearing a raincoat now, even when it is sunny. But do you think George has now learned his lesson?
Yes.
Yeah, what has he learned now?
So, without wearing a cap, you'll get a cold.
If you go and play in the rain without wearing your raincoat and hat, then you will fall sick. And when you fall sick, what happens? No, first let's make a face. Wonderful. Okay, now everybody look at me. Very good. Now we're going to act sick, huh? And we're going to act sick. So come on, make your eyes like this. Make your face like that. And then say